Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we're fishing aboard the Caliber. We're out at Davies Locker in Newport Beach. We're fishing the sand bass at Huntington Flats. See all the boats over my shoulder? They're all here fishing the sand bass. So today we're going to be looking for sand bass, barracuda. You never know what to expect. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. Welcome to Sport Fishing with Dan Hernandez. Well, the fishing's really turned on here. Sand bass fishing is phenomenal right now. It's getting toward the end of July, and we're still out here on the Huntington Flats. See all the boats around us and stuff. And what I've switched over is to just using the big sliding sinker and a circle hook. This is an Eagle Claw hook. It's a really light wire hook. It's a 702 model, and just nose hooking an anchovy, fishing this light line. You got 10-pound test, Cajun red, the Fluger bass reel, the Shakespeare light rod, and just working this fish right up. And live bait's been really hot today. Caught a few on the bucktails, but I tell you, this live bait really works great out here for the sand bass. This is a sand bass I just caught. You can just see how it's hooked right in the corner of the mouth. And this is what circle hooks are designed to do. So if you catch a lot of small fish, it's easy to release them. This fish is a nice, big, healthy, legal one. There he goes. And then that's the circle hook right there. That's what a circle hook looks like. And the rig I'm using, like I said, is just a very simple, just a sliding hook, a sliding weight onto the circle hook. That's it. Okay, let's go over the bait tank and grab a bait, and let me show you how we're doing this. Okay, this is the bait tank. This is the big tank where the crew keeps all the bait. And in here, you don't want to reach in there. If you reach in there, the deckhand up here with the net's gonna slap you in the hand. This is the bait well. This is where you want to grab a bait. And what you want to do is take your time up here. You don't want to just go and rush in for a bait. See all the different types of baits we have in here. We have some small sardines, some big anchovies, some real small pinhead anchovies. What we want to do is take a moment and try to find a nice, good, lively one. Has a lot of nice color to it. And there's a nice one there. And just slide your hand underneath it and just grab it. Let's go pin it on and show you how to use it. So here's the outfit I'm using. Got the sliding sinker on there. And I'm just gonna take my anchovy, take the circle hook, and go right underneath the mouth there, in front of the eyeballs, and slide the hook. The whole idea is to keep the bait lively. That's why it's called live bait fishing. I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this out. The sand bass are stacked up under the boat, so you don't need to make a long cast. So I'm just gonna toss it out, right out, and let it go down the bottom. There we go. He's got a fish going right here, right next to me. There you go, just like that. So he's finding a fish right now, sand bass. What's your name? Mike. Mike, this is Mike. He's got a fish going. Just like that, just wind down, and lift up slow, and wind down. There you go, just like that. Good job, Mike. Okay, while Mike's getting his fish coming up, I'm just gonna keep letting line out, let my bait get down the bottom. And with a circle hook, when you get bit, you don't want to pull on it. You want to let that fish really eat it good, and the circle hook will actually hook itself. Oh, Mike has a nice one going here. Nice big fat sand bass. Okay, Mike, just put the rod down. Slide it up. There you go. This is a circle hook too. See how the fish is hooked right in the corner of the jaw? And all we're gonna do is just grab it real quick. Hopefully. Just trying to get in the jaw so I don't get snagged. There we go. There's Mike's fish. This is what we're trying to catch, sand bass. It's a nice quality fish. Here, send that up there. This is a sand bass. Nice fish. Here. Here. Okay. Okay. There you go. 27. Yeah, 27. Okay, we just got Mike's fish off. Now my fish is getting bit here, my rod. And when you're fishing a circle hook, you don't want it jerky. You want the fish to hook himself, put the reel in gear and turn the handle. And normally you would drive the hook into the fish with a J-style hook. With the circle hook here, all you're doing is just turning the handle. And the fish will hook himself. And there he is, he's right there. He's all hooked on there. Taking line a little bit. Okay, let's get this fish up here. There he is, nice sand bass. See him rolling around there. Again, see how that hook's right in the corner of the jaw? Just slowly lift him up. And like I said, we're just using sliding sinker, the big circle hook there. Well, not really big, but a really thin wire circle hook. And this is made by Eagle Claw. It's the model number is a 702. It's just an awesome little live bait hook. And what I really like it for, it's designed for situations like this where you're trying to catch fish with live bait, anchovies, and that little thin circle hook works great on inshore species like this, like sand bass. And you can find this hook in the Dan Hernandez kits from Eagle Claw. There you go, nice beautiful fish. All right, well, let's take a break from the action. This week in the Tackle Box, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing today aboard the Caliber. It's the middle of sand bass season. The fishing's been phenomenal out here. I want to show you one of my favorite techniques for catching sand bass, and that's fishing with artificials. Now, the baits we're using for today's type of fishing are B52 Bucktail Jigs. Come in a variety of colors. Normally when you're thinking sand bass, you think of something like this, green and yellow or all white. Also, white and red's a hot color too. And what you want to do with that is pin on a squid strip, and the squid strips come both in the bags and in the jars like this. You can find these at your local store. There's Dan's Magic Squid Strips. You can also find them on our website. It's all available there. Now the rod and reel that you're using for sand bass fishing, you want to use your lighter gear. These fish normally aren't really big, but during this time of year you can get sand bass up to 10 pounds, sometimes even a little bit bigger. But the average sand bass will be about 1 to 4 pounds, sometimes 5 pounders. So you can get away with the light gear. A light Shakespeare rod like this, a custom ugly stick, works great. It's a nice rod that works, graphite rod, with the Fluger reel. Now if you get into a little bit bigger fish and you think you get 10-pound fish, you can handle them on the small Fluger reel. But I like to do sometimes is move up to a little bit larger Shakespeare reel. This works out nice. And you can fish 15-pound test line on there, Cajun red line, again with an ugly stick custom rod, and this would be a great combination. You pin this on with a B52 Bucktail bait, add the squid strip on there, and you can't go wrong. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action here on Sport Fishing.
Yeah, thanks. That's a little one. A little one's better than no one, huh?
Got one going. See the gear I'm fishing with, I have an ugly stick like custom rod, Fluger reel, Cajun red line, And I was just fishing a B52 jig, bucktail right down to the bottom with some magic strips on it. Feels like a nice big sand bass. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, big legal bass. There we go. This is our fishing. It's a B52 jig, glow in the dark, and have a little piece of the magic squid strips on there. Beautiful sand bass. And all we're doing is just fishing this gear. Really nice, easy gear. Let me just show you how we do that. Just drop this guy back. And this is what we're doing, just taking the jig and just tossing it out. Don't even have to cast. Just let the jig just hit the water. So just letting this go all the way down, just feeding the line. Just want to feed out line and let that jig go all the way to the bottom. Those fish are going to be all the way in the bottom. And there's a bunch of sand bass are suspended higher, so the bucktail is nice. Because as that bucktail flutters down toward the bottom, the sand bass will hit it as it goes through them. And then when you get to the bottom, you can bounce it off the bottom a little bit, and it works really good to attract the fish. So now I just got to the bottom, and all I want to do is just work the bait a little bit. Just keep contact with the bottom, and then just make a couple cranks and lift the rod tip. There you go, just like that. Just gonna move that bucktail. Just move that bucktail off the bottom, bouncing it around, let the fish get to it.
Little baby.
Oh, tips up.
Nice sand bass.
Oh, keep going, Kev. Oh, nice sandy. Sand bass. This is the kind we want to catch, Kevin. This one we'll eat. That is a big sand bass.
Fishing live bait and just fishing a dropper loop with a circle hook, and got my bait all the way in the bottom, and I got bit. And with the circle hook, you can't jerk it to set the hook. All you do is wind, and the fish pretty much hooks himself. That's what I got going on here. The nice thing about circle hook is you get the fish usually in the corner of the jaw majority of the time, but it's a nice sand bass. Here we go. Nice legal bass. And like I said, just fishing that circle hook, get them right here in the corner of the jaw. About 95% of the time, that's where you're gonna hook a fish with the circle hook. Makes it really nice. And then that's just the rig right there. Well, let's take a little break in the action, and we're gonna go to the galley, and I'm gonna show you how to cook up a sand bass like this. Standing next to me is Scott Lasif. You know him as a sporting chef, and we're down here at the Long Beach Fred Hall show. Thanks for doing this, Scott.
Yeah, man. You know, Dan, I don't know if you know this or not,
Okay.
but your fish batter mix, you don't need to use it as a fish batter.
Right.
Here's what I do with it. I use it just to dust, like if you were to dust fish with flour. It's like a seasoned flour. What I like about it is it almost has like masa-like flavors to it. I get a little lime out of it. There's corn in it. I mean, it really is good as a batter mixed with beer or with water. But let me tell you how I use your fish batter. I'm just going to dust it on the outside, on both sides. I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper, but I'm just dusting it on both sides. And what this is going to do is give it a great little crust on
Okay.
the outside. And if, you know, for a lot of people that don't want to take the step of making a batter, you have absolutely no excuse to not use your fish batter now. It's that easy. Into some hot oil. That's some good Corfino olive oil, and I'm going to brown it on both sides. I'm also going to add some peppers.
Okay.
Different colored bell peppers. You know, you can't just put a piece of fish on a plate. You got to have some color in
Got
there.
some color with there. Plus, bell peppers are great for you.
Sure,
Delicious.
sure.
And for those of you who ever thought about coming down to the Fred Hall Show, make sure you come in. Scott's always performing here, doing these cooking recipes and stuff for people, and does a great job. He's been with us in the past here at the show. So now what do we do?
Well, we're going to give this a flip. And the cool thing about the Fred Hall Show is not only do you get to see the fish in game being cooked, but you get to eat it also.
Yeah,
So it's like food TV, only you get to eat it.
in real.
In real deal.
Yeah.
And how do we tell if our fish is done? It's just by finger pressure. One of the questions that I get asked most often is, how do you know? This rockfish is fairly firm to start with, as you know, and it's going to firm up even more so. Now, if you get to the point where your fish is curling up, and that's a question I get asked a lot, you probably cooked it a little too long. And you can also give it a little quick score with your knife too. If you find that your fish, any kind of fish curls up, just score it like this with your knife,
Let the heat out.
and that'll let the heat out and it'll help it relax. And we've just got another couple seconds and our fish is done.
That's one of the most common mistakes that I see people make all the time is they overcook their fish.
All day long.
And they don't realize when they pull the fish off the pan, it's still cooking.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey Scott, I've never seen you cook without lemon or lime juice.
And this is a Meyer lemon. Look at the color of that. This Meyer lemon, M-E-Y-E-R, it's a cross between a tangerine and a lemon, and I don't know if you saw how much juice came out of that baby, but this fish is cooked.
That looks great.
Man, what are we going to do with it? It needs a little sauce, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're going to try our sweet and spicy sauce. Find it on our website, and local supermarkets have it too.
Very cool.
Add a little flavor to it.
Turn the heat off. We get my peppers in.
That looks great.
You know, it just gives it nice color. If you happen to have a little steamed rice, that wouldn't hurt you either. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. This will be the two-piece rockfish.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some of the sauce on here. Put that right across the
Now
top.
tell me about the sweet and spicy dipping sauce.
What would you like to know?
Talk to me. What kind of flavors can I expect in that?
Well, I wanted to call it sweet and hot, but we kind of played with it, made it a little bit spicy. It's got a nice little sweet taste. It's not quite like a sweet and sour sauce. It's just a little bit more sweet and spicy.
That's a great balance.
That's delicious.
Good sauce, man.
That's a great tip. I never even tried this with the fish batter.
Well, it's about time you did. It's your batter.
Yeah, it's great. I usually just use it as deep fry. Scott just showed us a great way to use it here. Just sprinkle it on there, cook it. If you want to find more exciting recipes for either game or fish, visit Scott's website, sport-fishing.com. It's got everything there. Thanks again, Scott, for joining
You got
us.
it, buddy.
Let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action here on Sport Fishing. Well, I've been switching all day, going from live bait to bucktails, back to live bait. I just switched back to bucktails again. This time I'm fishing a different color, going with the green and yellow bucktail, and still fishing the squid strips on there. And I got bit on the fall. It's been working out really good. And this Fluger reel works out really nice. And this, Gary had one there, just lost it. Here's another fish over there. The sand bass fishing has been really great today. Here we go. And this is what we're using. This is a B52 jig. And the squid strip on there is the Dan's Magic Strips. Find it at all your local fish and tackle shops. Little bass. Might be legal, it's too close. And just using the Cajun red line, just letting it fall down there. And let me just grab another piece of squid to show you real quick. Okay, this is the Dan's Magic Squid Strips. They come in jars, they come in these little bags too. These are the brand new bags. They have like 6-8 strips in there. And all I'm doing is just grabbing one of these and just pinning it on. Just pin it onto the lure, and that's it. You just want it to dangle so as it falls and flutters, it attracts the sand bass. For this week's tip, I want to talk to you a little bit about fishing bucktails for sand bass. You know, there's lots of different ways of catching sand bass, but fishing artificials with bucktails is a great way to do it. And that's what I was using today. Fish a bucktail like this. It's called a B52. It comes in different sizes. I'd say from a 1 ounce to 4 ounce size. These are just two of the different sizes. And the green and yellow was a hot color today, but I've also done really good with this one with glow in the dark and a whitetail in the past. And the big tip with that too is you want to use a strip of squid. Now these are called Dan's Magic strips. They work really good, and what you do is you pin one of these onto the bucktail, and that way when the bass come by, they taste it, they taste the squid, the natural squid, and they hold on to the bait longer. So remember, B52 bucktails and fishing it with the magic strips is the hot key. And these are just natural squid strips. They've been cured and they're packed with crab and shrimp oil, so that way the fish hold on to it longer. Well, that's this week's tip of the week, and I'd like to thank you for watching this week's episode of Sport Fishing. We had a great time today aboard the Caliber. Just an awesome fishing. We had limits of fishing here for sand bass, and everybody had a great time. Well, I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you did enjoy this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing.